Hi there and welcome to a new sewing tutorial. My name is Gabriela. If you are new here, I want to give you a warm welcome. I hope every sewing tutorial you'll see on this channel will help you on your sewing journey. I'm a self-taught sewist. I started sewing approximately 3 years ago, and if I did it, you can do it too. Today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this self-drafted dress, and we're going to divide it in two videos. Today's video is to self-draft the dress, to prepare the fabric, and to cut it. And for the next video, it's going to be all about sewing and putting everything together. This design was inspired by my daughter's birthday dress. Everyone loved this dress and I got so many requests about the tutorial and if they can make that, and I thought, okay, let's do it too. In this case, I did a shorter version because right now it's summer and she wanted to wear that, but absolutely you can do a longer version. The sewing process is the same, but the only difference is that you will need more fabric. So let's get started with everything you need: sewing machine, an overlock, and fabric. For her birthday, I used a Mikado fabric, but for this one, I used a cotton fabric. So if you want something more festive and more special, I highly recommend you to use a satin, something thicker, or maybe Mikado. I will link all the fabrics that I think will suit very well for this kind of dress down below. In this case, I just use a cotton, and you can absolutely use a cotton too, and I still think will turn out really nice. And also you will need a petticoat to add volume underneath the dress. And for this dress right here, she's not wearing any petticoat underneath, it's just the regular dress. But again, if you want one, I will also link the one I have home for Chloe. I love that. It's so easy to combine and to put underneath skirts or dresses, and that way you can have a more festive and a more elegant dress. For the short dress, I used about 5 yards of fabric, but if you want to make a longer version, I highly recommend you to go maybe up to 6 yards or even more. It's really up on how long you want to make the dress, because also I have to mention that this is a full skirt dress, so that means that takes so much fabric, and the whole project can take up to 5 hours. So please have patience, work slowly, and even if it takes more, it doesn't matter. I know it will turn out really nice, and I know your daughter, or if you are going to sell it or whatever, you're going to make someone feel very special. So all right, so I think with all the details that you need, it's time to start working. So get ready your fabric, scissors, sewing machines, and let's get started. And now let's get started by drafting our pattern. All you need is a basic top that already fits your child well and fold it in half, and we are going to start by tracing the back bodice. Trace the shoulders, the neckline, armhole, and the side seam. I love using the curved ruler because it makes drawing smooth and you have looking lines so much easier. For the shoulder, neckline, and the armhole, add 1/4 inch for seam allowance, and along the side seam, I like to add 1 inch. This gives you a little extra room for fitting later, and if you need to make any adjustments, you will have enough fabric to work with. Now we are going to draft the front bodice. Place the back pattern we already have on top and trace it. Then lower the front back line by 2 inches and redraw the neckline with a smooth curve. And for the armhole, remove about 1/4 to create the front armhole shape. Your front and back bodies should now look like this. And now let's create the V back. Just decide how deep you would like the V to be and I went down 5 inches. Then draw a straight V shape, and in the center back, remember to add 1/4 inch for the zipper seam allowance. And now let's move on to the sleeves. Fold the reference sleeve in half and trace half of the sleeve shape. Once cut it out, fold your pattern in half and make this angle cut at about 45 degrees. Measure 2.5 inches up and 1 inch down. Then use the curve ruler to connect the lines smoothly. Right now, you don't need more explanation because I think visually it's more clear what I'm doing than just explaining as an overlay. And once you cut the pattern, this is how it should look. That your bodice and sleeve patterns are ready, let's draft the skirt. We are making a full circle skirt, but instead of drafting the exact waist measurements, we are going to make the waist opening larger. This extra fabric will be gathering into the waistband, creating even more volume and a beautiful full drape. For Chloe's dress, I made the skirt 13 inches long. And to calculate the opening, take your child's actual waist measurements and decide how much extra fullness you would like to add. Your child waist measures 30 inches. You can add 10 inches, giving you a total measurement of waist measurement of 40 inches. Then use that measurement to calculate the radius of your full circle skirt. And this is exactly the formula that you have to use. Fold your fabric into a square, keeping all the folded edges aligned. Starting from the folded corner, measure your waist radius all the way around to create the waist opening. Then from that line, measure the 13 inches skirt length all the way around, just as I'm showing in the video, or even longer. This will give you a half of the skirt. You will need to cut 2 identical pieces, so simply use this first one as your pattern for the second and just cut once again, and then you'll have 2 half of the skirt, making it a full skirt. And finally, place all of your bodies and sleeve pieces on the fabric, making sure that they are aligned with the grain line before tracing and cutting. Before we start sewing, let's make sure we have all our pieces cut out. So for the bodies, you will need one main fabric and one lining fabric for both the front and the back. And for the sleeves, you will also need one main fabric and one lining fabric for each sleeve. Since I'm using a lightweight cotton, I'm using the same fabric for both the main fabric and the lining, and it keeps the dress comfortable while giving it like a nice and clean finish. However, if you are using a heavier fabric like Mikado or Taffeta, I recommend choosing a lighter lining fabric such as cotton voile or another lightweight woven fabric, and make the dress more comfortable to wear. Once you have all your pieces cut out, we are finally ready to start sewing.